Los Angeles, California, Southern California, beautiful day again, as it always seems to be this time of year, as the Rockies and Dodgers play Game 3 of their 4-game series. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. Jerry Schimmel and Jeff Hewson with you as the Rockies enjoy, anybody connect with this baseball game enjoys this weekend, fan appreciation weekend for Vin Scully, the legendary Dodgers broadcaster at Dodger Stadium. Game 3 of this series should be a good one tonight. Clayton Kershaw on the mound against Chad Bettis. Charlie Blackmon leads off for the Rockies. A little different look in the lineup tonight, but Charlie's still at the top of that lineup, so he'll lead off, having that terrific year. Let's look at the Rockies batting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You got Charlie Blackmon leading off and playing center field. Then a different look tonight. Daniel Descalso hitting second. Arenado's hitting third. Ryan Rayburn in left field is the cleanup man. Parra getting a start in right for Gonzalez. Steven Cardullo all 3 games at first base in this series. LA native Pat Valaika gets his first major league start. Tony Walters behind the plate for Chad Bettis.
And the assignment they get tonight, Clayton Kershaw. This will be his 4th start since coming back off the DL with dealing with the back issue. But it seems like every time he steps out onto that hill that he has a chance to just twirl a gem, because he is one of the best in the game right now and one of the top, all time.
He is 17-5 against the Rockies in his career. And the first pitch to Charlie Blackmon is outside for ball 1.
I thought the Rockies were going to catch a break and not see Clayton Kershaw this year. And the last time they went a season without facing him was 2007.
2-0 to Charlie Blackmon. A guy doesn't fall behind too many hitters. Down 2-0 to Charlie.
Yeah, Clayton's only walked 10 batters in 135 innings.
Just amazing. Blackmon will swing and foul that one away. Charlie had a couple of hits in last night's game. He's got a nice hitting streak going. It's at 12 games now. And having a just terrific season all around. Stealing bases, playing defense, power, high average. He's 3rd in the league in hitting. The 2-1 pitch to Blackmon. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Charlie, out ahead of that off-speed pitch.
Well, and that's what Kershaw will give you. He'll give you the fastball about 50% of the time, and then he'll mix in a slider that's 34%. And then just for good measure, he's got that 12-6 curveball, the dropper off the table type of curveball. So you can't just say, well, he's going to be fastball slider to the lefties. You're not quite sure what you're going to get.
Ball 3 to Charlie Blackmon.
We say it almost on a nightly basis, though, for Charlie leading off a ball game, how he'll come out and he'll see 4 to 6 pitches.
What the great leadoff men do. And he pulled that one foul, keeps the bat alive. Does Charlie Blackmon. Rockies lost the first 2 in the series, so trying to gain 1 here with a chance for a split, but it's going to be tough tonight against this guy.
And there's his arsenal, and you can see it doesn't quite add up to 100, but less than 1% of the time he'll throw a changeup.
And he got Blackmon to pop up. Third baseman is Turner. He's calling for it, and he will make that catch. 1 away. Let's look at the Dodgers with the leather tonight behind Clayton Kershaw. This is a very good defensive team. They're not terribly athletic, but they are very solid. Justin Turner's at third, the rookie Seager at short, veteran Utley at second, the veteran Gonzalez at first. Kendrick, Peterson, and Reddick left to right in that outfield, and you've got Grandal behind the plate. Daniel Descalso hitting second in the order tonight, and he'll take a pitch in there for a strike. Have a very good year. Career high 8 home runs for Descalso. He's hit 2 of them here at Dodger Stadium this year.
Daniel 2 for 5 against Clayton. I was thinking this is a tough draw when you're going up there, but I think Daniel's in a pretty good place this year, whether it's right-handed or left-handed.
1 for 3 in the series. And that pitch is high, so just like Blackmon, he falls behind Daniel Descalso.
And I know the guys were talking about it back in the studio and what they're rooting for. Try to somehow, some way, get the pitch count elevated for Clayton Kershaw, and the first couple batters are starting to do that.
Swing and a miss there by Descalso. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just the whole package is this guy, number 22. Got the size, the speed, the finesse, the power.
Fields his position.
Yep. He can swing the bat a little bit. That one hit pretty well to right center field, but Reddick is going to catch up to this one, and he'll make the catch for the second out. Not a bad swing put on that baseball by Dan Descalso. 2 away, and Nolan Arenado now comes to the plate for the Rockies. Nolan had gone hitless in the series until that 3rd at bat last night in the 6th inning when he hit that 40th home run of the season, 129 RBIs. So certainly that great opportunity to break that, get past 40, get past his 130 RBIs from a year ago. And he did it last night in front of lots of friends and family.
And Nolan says he wants to play 160 games this year. And he's on pace to do that. He's going to finish it out, hopefully, and hit that mark he wants to.
Isn't it tough as a manager to keep him out of the lineup?
Yes, it is.
I would think it would be.
Yeah, he's like that fly that just kind of sits on your shoulder and keeps bothering you, and that's what it is for Walls. Is I want to play.
Pulled that one hard, but foul down the left field side.
But I don't mind that. Shoot, yeah. It's better to have it that way than some guy that, because I've had some players and teammates that I've been with that you're not quite sure each and every day when they come to the park. Are they going to be able to play? Do they want to play? And
Walt White says the same thing. He appreciates the fact this guy wants to be in the lineup every single day. Doesn't want to take that day off. Next pitch, swing and a miss. He got him on a high fastball. And Kershaw with a 1-2-3 against the Rockies. We'll come back to Dodger Stadium. Bottom of the 1st coming up. Dodger Stadium, Jerry Shumo with Jeff Hewson pinch hitting tonight for Drew Goodman in this game 3 of the Rockies and the Dodgers. Let's look at the lineup for the Dodgers, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Pretty much the regular lineup these days for their manager, Dave Roberts. It'll be Chase Utley leading off, then Corey Seager, that guy who's got Rookie of the Year written all over him. Justin Turner, and then the veteran Adrian Gonzalez. Grandal, the catcher, and Josh Reddick. Platoons these days, hitting against a right-handed hitter. Howie Kendrick back in the lineup. Jock Peterson in center, and Clayton Kershaw.
Well, Chad Bettis is looking for his 4th consecutive win, coming off the W against the San Diego Padres in his last start. But I go back to even his last 14 starts. Chad's 7-2 with the 369, and more importantly, the club is 11-3 during his starts. We see the repertoire for Chad, and all will be in play tonight.
And the team has won 15 of his last 18 starts. He always tells the media, I'm just trying to keep my team in the game, and he has done that and given them the chance to win 15 of 18.
Well, and that's what it's all about. Just give your ball club a chance. Even on some nights when you don't have your best stuff, figure out a way just to navigate. He'll try to figure it out on the fly.
2-1 on Utley. And 3-1. Asked Chad yesterday, I said, what do you feel about going up against Kershaw? And he said, with all due respect, I can't get caught up in that. It doesn't matter to me who my opposition is on the mound. I've just got to play my game.
And that's what you'll hear a lot of pitchers talk about, because it's you know, Chad can only do so much. Clayton can only do so much. It's what the guys behind him will do playing defense, or what they do offensively. And if you get wrapped up in, oh, I've got to do this against this guy, well, you know what, in 5 days it's going to be some other guy you've got to do it against.
I'm sure Kershaw didn't really think about his opposition either when he's pitching.
No.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch to Utley, and they got him. Chad Bettis comes back after 3-1 to take care of Utley.
Well, a nice start for Chad to get Chase Utley. It's a hard biting slider on the Subaru Supermo, right under the hands, the disappearing slider.
Utley just 1 for 7 in the series. The Rockies done a good job against this guy, Corey Seager, in the series as well. He is 0 for 8. He does have a couple of walks, and he scored a couple of times, but you look at the numbers for this rookie, and he's going to win that National League Rookie of the Year award. It's a little bit high. Ball 1 to Seager. Baseball family, got an older brother playing with the Mariners, a younger brother playing college baseball. Swing and a miss there on a changeup.
Both of them have power. I mean, Corey with 25 home runs.
Natives of Kannapolis, North Carolina.
That's a strike. Yeah, good job by Chad recognizing the fact that even though Seager had called timeout, it does not have to be granted. If he's ready to go and you're standing in the box, you have to assume that that pitch is going to be delivered. That was smart for Dave Rackley, the home plate umpire, not to give him the timeout.
2-2 on Seager.
Here's a replay. He's in the box. He asked for time, but Chad's in the middle of his windup almost.
Fouled that fastball back. Count holds at 2-2. Seager currently leading major league rookies in just about every offensive categories: games played, hits, average, home runs, RBIs. Bouncing that one up there. 3-2 now on Seager. And the 25 home runs hit by this guy, the most ever in the history of the Dodgers for a shortstop. That's amazing. Justin Turner's had a terrific year as well with the long ball.
That's a little bit what the Dodgers do.
Fouled out of play. Yeah, they're a bashing team. They don't run a whole lot. They're not terribly athletic, but they get the job done. They rely on that great pitching, of course.
Well, yeah, and they have 9 guys that are in double digits for home runs.
That one is going to be foul again off the bat of Seager. Fans, you can join the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos, questions via Twitter, Instagram using the hashtag Toyota Talk. We'll show some of your Toyota Talk comments throughout the ball game. Bouncer, the second baseman, Baleka, and over to first. 2 outs.
It's nice for Pat to get that first one out of the way. A lot of friends and family in the stands.
Get the first one out of the way, and it's an easy play, too.
Not a hard one.
Here's the Rockies defensively. Again, a little different look tonight with Lake at second, Descalso playing short. Cardullo, third straight start at first base. Walters against a left-handed pitcher. That's not happening very much this year starting. Rayburn in left, Blackman in center, and Gerardo Parra for Gonzalez. Just a day off for LeMahieu, day off for Gonzalez. Justin Turner having a terrific year as well. He takes strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. This guy will be a free agent at the end of the year, and I think a lot of folks will be surprised if he doesn't come back to the Dodgers.
They would be foolish if they didn't re-sign him.
He's an LA area native. 2-1 on him. He played it.
Well, and the other thing too, real quick, I think the difference between their offense in the second half and the first half is directly correlated to what he's done in the second half.
Career high 27 homers. Career high 87 RBIs.
Good pitch.
Let's call the ball 3-1. It was a good spot by Chad Bettis, just off the plate.
Just ever so close to the Subaru strike zone.
Swing and a miss. Bettis had him out in front, 3-2.
I think Chad feels pretty good with that slider tonight.
Played at Cal State Fullerton, was a bat boy growing up at Cal State Fullerton. Justin Turner. That's a foul ball. I wonder if maybe Turner go back to Cal State Fullerton and be a coach. He was a bat boy. Maybe. He was a player.
Who was it? Lance Berkman was thinking about doing that down at Rice.
Yes,
right?
correct. That one line to right center. That's going to be grabbed, I believe, by Parno. He short hopped the ball and he'll fire it back in.
But just to even stop that.
Yep. Good play by Parr. That prevented extra bases from Turner.
Now, from our angle, it was slicing back towards Parra, but you didn't know if it was going to hang up long enough to be able to do that. And then he takes it on the Subaru Supermo, the short hop. But you're right, Jerry. If he doesn't make this, it scoots by to the wall. Even though Charlie's hustling getting over there, that's minimum double, possibly triple for Turner.
And we keep in mind he has won a Gold Glove in right field. Gonzalez takes the first pitch outside. Well, steady Adrian Gonzalez. Since 2006, nobody's played more games in Major League Baseball than this guy. And a good solid year again with his numbers. There's a strike, 1-1.
The only place he really didn't have a whole lot of success, or as much as he's used to, was Boston.
And he'll bounce that one to first. That's a fair ball, and that'll take care of the Dodgers. Chad Bettis, a nice job in the first inning. We'll come back to Dodger Stadium from the top of the second after this.
Scully's last weekend calling games for the Los Angeles Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, and prior to today's game he held a press conference for all the media to ask questions. It took about an hour long, and Vince Scully was incredible, telling lots of stories, but this one right here was my favorite.
I made the worst pun in the entire world, and the groan that came up from the audience. Joe Torre was catching for Milwaukee, and he took a foul ball off the hand, and the next night he played third base. And I said, isn't that interesting? If Joe never puts on the gear again, he will forever be known as Chicken Catcher Torre. And 40, 50,000. This groan, but it was a funny, they loved it, and that began everything.
Well, Vin was talking about how important the transistor radio was at Dodger Stadium and at the Coliseum, and that is how that story started. Was he started talking about the transistor radio, and one of the great things was there was an argument at the time about how long the pitcher was holding the glove before making a move towards home plate. He was talking about it being a second long, and so to test it out, Vin had the audience as he was talking to the people at the Coliseum. He said, okay, when I say A, you say B, and that'll be the length of a second. And so the entire stadium, he'd say A on the radio, and the stadium would recall and say B. And he starts telling the story about understanding the power of the transistor in baseball and how everything completely transformed.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Rayburn bounces one to shortstop. Seager's got it, and there's a first out for the Rockies.
He was talking about that joke. It just happened to run into Joe Torre, who was here this weekend, right by our booth, because our booth is next to Vin's, and we were just talking about Vin, and I think it goes back to the times when he was on the bus, and he and Vin, he said, used to tell corny jokes to each other, and so it became such a running joke, no pun intended there, but they would just say who could come up with the corniest joke, and so maybe that's where the one he just
Chicken catcher Torre came.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Who knows?
Gerardo Parra, strike one. One out for the Rockies here in this second. No score. And was telling us early in the year in a visit here, another story about transistor radios is really interesting. Here's a pitch to Parra, and he let that foul. He said it was Steve Garvey's birthday, and he wanted to sing happy birthday to Steve Garvey, and he said to the crowd, and of course he's talking to the radio, he said, okay, I'm going to start, we're going to sing happy birthday to Steve Garvey, and the whole place started singing happy birthday because they all had their radios on. And he said,
that is a player, though.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
40, 50,000 people singing happy birthday to you.
And he said he did it a couple more times after that, but just very rarely because he didn't want to wear it out. But I thought that was pretty cool. Had the whole Dodger Stadium singing happy birthday to Steve Garvey while the game was going on, by the way, while he was playing first base. Parra will take that pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Haven't seen Parra in right field too often this year, getting the start out there tonight. I've seen him mainly at first base the last couple of weeks. This is his first appearance in this series. He does have a good history against Clayton Kershaw. He's 10 for 27.
That's a 370 average.
Roll that toward third. Turner's got the hop he likes. 2 away. Fans of the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Rockies end up with 7 against the Dodgers tonight. We'll all be celebrating.
Yes, because that's be a lot of fun.
Yep, against Clayton Kershaw. There aren't too many that touch him up for much. Steven Cardullo. There are great stories in baseball. This is one of them this year. Steven Cardullo, 4 years in independent ball, and here he is, a major leaguer. You talk about a guy that's thankful. A little conversation the other day, and he still just can't get over what has happened. He says, some days I wake up and I wonder if it really has happened to me, if it's really real.
Well, you got to just keep rolling with it, then don't try to wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? Some dreams you want to try to wake up from. This one don't.
I should have given him that advice, darn it.
Yep.
He's down 0-2 to Kershaw, and that's high and outside.
At some point in the last 2 or 3 years, did he think that he would be standing in the batter's box at Dodger Stadium facing Clayton Kershaw? I mean, even in your wildest dreams, that would be a tough one.
That's a foul ball off the end of his bat. How about in that 4th year of independent ball? Are you thinking you're going to make the Dodgers game?
Right.
You might be thinking about having a Dodger dog watching a Dodger game,
yeah,
but not playing against them.
Good for him. Never Never giving up that dream.
Next pitch, and he fouls that off his front foot, so he keeps his at bat going.
And his parents and family for standing behind him, keep encouraging him. Just keep trying to live the dream.
Exactly right. Until they take that uniform away, keep playing, and that's what Cardullo did. Kershaw's 1-2 pitch, and that's the curveball. It missed upstairs, 72 miles an hour.
And the hard thing with his curveball is the release point is the same on the curveball as it is on the fastball. So you can't say, oh, he drops his elbow, does anything different.
Again, Cardullo fouls a pitch away. Good battle. Kershaw doesn't throw that curve as much as he did in the earlier years of his career. He hasn't needed it. That's what he keeps telling the media. They ask about it. It's like the slider is a better pitch for me these days. 2-2 to Cardullo. And that's in the dirt. Did he go around? He did, says a home plate umpire. And that is strike 3. Second strikeout for Kershaw. Rockies go in order in the second. Challenge poll question. Here it is. In their 23 full seasons, how many times have the Rockies had a hitter finish in the top 5 in the National League batting race? 2017 or 23? Go to rootsports_RM to vote. That's a good question. I know there are plenty. Bottom of the second inning, Yasmani Grandal, who's been really tough on the Rockies in these first 2 games, will line one against his shift into right field for a base hit.
Parra was thinking about trying to throw to first base. It was hit so hard.
Yasmani Grandal doesn't run very well, so you have that opportunity if you're Parra. With a base hit, that's the second off Chad Bettis. Grandal in this series is 6 for 8 at the plate. The grand slam and 7 RBIs.
That was just his second single. They'll make it third single. Had one last night, one on Thursday night.
Josh Reddick, the right fielder. Ball 1 to Reddick, picked up in a trade from Oakland earlier this year. He's basically in a platoon situation, playing against right-handed pitching.
That's because right-handed pitching, he's hitting .313 against lefties. Just 161. And now that they have Puig back, they're going to run his bat out there.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike on Reddick. He got off to a very slow start at the plate when the trade was made, but he's really picked things up the last couple of weeks. Here the splits awful good against righties. The pitch. That is a foul ball. Rockies had a shift on for Grandal to do the same thing with Reddick here, left-handed hitter.
Well, with a couple strikes on Reddick, though, won't be quite as dramatic with the shift as they would be with Grandal, who's a dead pull hitter.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Josh Reddick. Chad Bettis, last 4 starts, 3-0. He's given up 7 runs in 29 1/3 innings. He's on a good little roll for the Rockies.
And striking out a lot of guys during those 4 ball games.
Foul ball. Career highs in wins for Chad Bettis this year in starts, innings pitched. He just had a very, very solid year. 13-7 coming to this ball game. He gives a lot of credit to his pitching coaches.
Well, and he's also taking the ball every 5th day. I mean, 30 starts, now 31 starts on the year.
That's a foul ball wide of the third base bag. There's the pitching coach. That's Steve Foster. Darren Holmes is the bullpen coach, and Chad Bettis gives these guys all the credit, kind of reinventing him. Changes mechanics before last season really has paid off.
I think there's enough credit to go around. I think you got to give some to yourself. I know he would deflect it, but guys are very stubborn in the big leagues. Very hard-headed and not real keen on trying new things and reinventing yourself. But to Chad said, this is the way I have to do it.
And Steve Foster, that pitching coach, says that as well. He says, you know, it's one thing to tell a guy that this is what you should do or try. It's another thing for the guy to accept it and then go out and execute it like Chad has done. And he's a different pitcher than he was 2 years ago, and Chad admits that he thought maybe his career might be coming to an end, and so I think when that happens, you have a tendency to listen to a coach.
It's a lot easier to change it and say, yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
And ball 4 to Reddick. That's a heck of an at-bat for Reddick to draw a walk. 1st and 2nd, nobody out for the Dodgers. And Tony Wolters out the mound to try to settle Chad Bettis down a bit.
We can't spot the Dodgers too many runs when Clayton's on the hill.
Chad Bettis done a good job of this year. He's getting himself out of trouble and limiting those big innings by the opposition.
It helps when you can throw a sinker, get ground balls, some double plays.
Howie Kendrick is the man he'll face next. And that's a pop-up. That's going to be out of play. Howie Kendrick, the veteran, the former Angel, moving all around and defensively. He's played 3rd and 2nd, the outfield, and a good solid year at the plate, and especially the 2nd half of the season. Native of Jacksonville, Florida.
75th start in left field this year.
Ground ball, base hit to left. Grandal is going to be held at 3rd base. Up with the ball quickly from left field is Rayburn, but the bases are loaded now for the Dodgers and nobody out. A single, a walk, and a single.
Howie Kendrick's been doing this a long, long time. When Chad threw that ball down, he got the ground ball, it just wasn't at somebody. Yeah, the dangerous hitter in Jock Peterson. He does strike out. Has 122 strikeouts on the season, but he has a big uppercut in his swing. And we saw a home run that he hit last night to right center field.
Back-to-back homers. He and Ethier is a pinch hitter. High and tight, ball 1.
This is a home run in the 4th inning off of John Gray. His 24th of the season. His 50th of his career.
Walks a lot, but strikes out a lot, as Jeff said. That is from the stretch still. And that's in there. It's a strike.
This is the pattern they've been trying to do on the Subaru strike zone, is pitch him inside, but also elevate to the top of the strike zone. There's a little bit of a hole. When you have an uppercut swing, that's where the hole in your swing is, and it's definitely there for Jock.
That's outside, making it 2-1. Baseball family. Dad Stu played for the Dodgers very briefly. Played just a handful of games in 1985 for the Dodgers. Ed played baseball at USC, and Jock actually had committed to play there before being drafted by the Dodgers. 2-1 pitch. And a good stop by Tony Walters. 3-1. Chad Bettis in a jam right here. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-1 count on Jock Peterson.
And you know he's going to be just sitting dead red on the fastball.
That is a base hit to right. One scores. Another one being waved in. Throw home by Parras. Cut off by Cardullo. Dodgers have the early lead. 2-run single by Jock Peterson.
Well, it makes it much easier as a hitter when you know I can take a pitch or two out of the equation. And for Jock Peterson, he knew he was going to get a fastball, and this time he gets on top of it in the Subaru Supermo. Steven Cardullo lays out for it off the end of his glove, slows it down. Probably slowed it down enough to allow the trail runner and Josh Reddick to score, because if he doesn't, I don't think they wave him in.
I agree with you. Steve Foster's out the mound. Jock Peterson 2 more RBIs after a home run last night. It was a solo shot. Still nobody out in the inning. Now Clayton Kershaw, who swings the bat pretty well, comes up with first and second, nobody out.
I still think this would be a situation where Dave Roberts is going to ask him to bunt.
Yep.
With nobody out. So you see the one sacrifice bunt on the season.
Showing bunt and bunted at it, missed it. Strike one. Kershaw taking a look. Chris Woodward is the third base coach. He has gone through signs.
Chris came down from the Seattle Mariners. He was with the Mariners last year.
He bunted that one out toward the pitcher. Only plays at first. Bettis will make the play with Paleka covering first, and the pitcher does his job. Clayton Kershaw bunt, puts 2 in scoring position. Kershaw able to get 2 runners advanced, get back in the dugout, get rested up to pitch again. Top of the order now with Chase Utley.
I think you have to pull the infield in right now too. You can't give that just easy ground ball RBI.
And this is the one man that Chad Bettis has struck out so far. Chase Utley did that to begin the game for the Dodgers.
On a slider.
And that infield is in tight. Ball 1 to Utley.
Utley does a little bit of a strange thing. As a pitcher is just standing on the rubber, he won't be in a ready position. He'll hold the bat about halfway up on the barrel. Just kind of wait. Just stand there. Won't do much until you come set, and then he'll a couple waggles through the bat, and then he goes.
He says he's been doing that since high school. Did that all through college. Same kind of maneuver.
Reminds me of Jim Thome with the Cleveland Indians, where he would point the bat out towards the pitcher and then he would bring it back. So it's a timing mechanism. It's also something that you don't become too stiff and too rigid before you go to swing.
Jim Thome told us that he got that from Charlie Manuel. That was something Charlie suggested to him in the minors, and he did it. 2-1 on Utley. He's an LA area native, played at UCLA.
Both second baseman tonight then, UCLA guys.
Yep, there you go. And 3-1. Utley High School baseball at Long Beach Technical High School. Long line of athletes from that school.
In multiple sports.
Yes. The Gwynn brothers and Milton Bradley, Willie McGinnis, Mark Carrier, Snoop Dogg went there.
Don't forget about Snoop Dogg.
And don't forget Cameron Diaz went there too. Outside ball 4. First base was open, and Utley has walked. Bases reloaded with 1 out.
Yeah, but not really the guy you want to see come to the plate in Corey Seager. And Chad had a rough inning, giving up 3 singles and now 2 walks.
Got through the first inning just fine, just a 1-out single to Turner. Seager grounded out to second, first time up. And Seager gets time this time at the plate.
Corey hitting .314 with 5 home runs, 43 RBIs with runners in scoring position.
Cardulo knocks it down, goes to second for 1. The ball dropped. He is out at second. A run scores. Kendrick able to get home on the play. Runner out at second, so first and third for the Dodgers and 2 outs.
Boy, that was a rocket that Steven could just knock down. It came up and got him in the belly. And then he throws to second base. Hard hit ball. You have the base runner right there. He knocks it down, bare hands it like you're supposed to. And then on the transfer. So that's all you can do. Get that lead runner. So catch, secured, and then it was on the transfer, just like the second base umpire Alfonso Marquez said it was.
Good call. Wasn't out at second base. Now Justin Turner. And strike 1 to him. Singled back to the first. (3-0) Dodgers. 3 runs on 4 hits off Chad Bettis. And that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peterson at third and Seager at first. 87 RBIs for this guy, Justin Turner, looking for another, and Chad Bettis has other ideas. Want to get the Rockies out of this inning. 1-1, ripped to center field, drops in front of Charlie Blackmon. 4-0 Dodgers.
Inning has been surgical for the Dodgers. It's not the big blow, it's the take what they give you. Singles, the walks, singles, advancing. Chad knows a 4-run deficit. It's early in the game, I get that, but it's the guy you're pitching against right there in Clayton Kershaw.
This is the 9th man in the inning to hit Adrian Gonzalez. First and second, 2 outs. Seager stopped at second. And that's low. It's in the dirt. Good scoop by Tony Walters.
Eddie Butler is now up in the Rockies bullpen.
In this inning, a sacrifice bunt, then 4 singles and 2 walks. Foul ball off the bat of Gonzalez. 1 ball and 1 strike on Adrian Gonzalez. Playing for his 5th major league team. Miami, Texas, San Diego, Boston, here with the Dodgers. Former #1 pick overall in the draft.
It was by Texas.
Yep.
Can't forget that.
Yep. That's the one that a lot of folks forget about. On the Marlins for a while. Ground ball. Cardullo's got that in the backhand. He will get to the bag ahead of Gonzalez to end the inning. But damage done by the Dodgers. They score 4 times, lead it 4-0. Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. By Bank of Colorado. Life's better when you're connected. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Or the ceremony last night honoring Vin Scully, very close to Clayton Kershaw. This is his wife Sandy. It was a wonderful tribute. I don't know that that could have been done any better. I know you guys carried it on the TV last night. We had it on the radio. It was awesome.
Just the way that everybody spoke about Vin, but just the honor to have all those people up on the stage. I mean, you had Clayton Kershaw and Sandy Koufax, yeah. 2 of the legends. I mean, obviously Sandy more right now than Clayton, but Clayton's moving his way up there on the Dodger ranks with his pitching and the number of games that he's won here in a Dodger uniform.
Commissioner was out there. Kevin Costner, very eloquent delivery. And first pitch in there, strike 1. Pat Valaika getting his first start. And the first start coming in the majors against this guy, Clayton Kershaw. Both sides of the field, the Vin with the microphone in the middle. Swinging a foul by Valaika. No balls and 2 strikes. That's cool.
Really neat.
Yep.
Really neat. And they just put that down a couple days ago.
See a few more of those around the ballpark up here in the broadcast area as well. Just a really, really fitting tribute. 0-2 is hit to right field. That's chasing Reddick back, but he's going to get to this and make the catch. Here's our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. At home this year, lowest ERA in baseball, 1.73 for Clayton Kershaw. That's typical Clayton Kershaw if you look at that number.
Well, his ERA, it's just, I mean, we're talking about Kyle Hendricks, who might win the Cy Young this year. I mean, there's a couple guys on the list, but in this, To have a below a 2 now is just remarkable.
Yeah. Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
6'4", 225. He's 28 years of age. Clayton Kershaw out of Dallas.
Same high school as Matthew Stafford.
Played in the same football team. Tony Wolters, the hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike on him. First round pick by the Dodgers, 2006. He was a number 7 pick overall. And there's a tapper toward the second baseman. Top play for Utley from his glove. Scoops. Safe at first. Wolters. That might have been all he could do to try to make the play, and he couldn't get it done.
That was it. He got around it like you're supposed to, and then just shoveled it out of his glove. You don't have time. You know you're not going to be able to get there or throw it, do anything else. So he circles. Right now he's saying, I've got to flip it from my glove, and that's a pretty far distance to have to do it from. Out of the glove. Into the dirt, and they're still debating what they're going to do as far as the Dodgers go.
It looked like he was safe, but let's see what Dave Roberts might want to do here. And we saw Utley in game 1 flip a ball behind his back to make an out.
Yeah, and here's the Supermo angle.
The Dodgers are going to challenge us.
They are going to, but just looking at it, watch the foot hits the front of the bag like you're taught and supposed to. Chase Utley's made a throw from his stomach and his back in this series.
So the call for Tony Wolters, safe at first base. If it's upheld, it's a first base hit against Clayton Kershaw tonight. But a challenge made by the Dodgers and their manager Dave Roberts. It's one of those, Jeff, it could probably go either way, but I'd be surprised if it was overturned.
Is there enough evidence to overturn it?
That's the question.
From that angle, it looks like the foot is just getting there as the ball's starting to go in the glove. And here it comes. Out.
Surprised by that one. Not the first time this year. Clayton Kershaw has retired the first 8 he has seen now. And he'll get Chad Bettis, his counterpart. What a play by Utley. Both of those plays, one flipping behind his back, and they're both outs in this series. Strike 1 to Chad Bettis.
Dodgers aren't really shifting on Chad. Clayton on the mound, playing it straight up. They would be swung over quite a bit more in the outfield. Even on the infield, have the shortstop Corey Seager up the middle. Now though, oh wait, I thought Jock Peterson was moving way over into the gap, but it's a beach ball.
Happens more in this stadium, we're told, than any other in baseball. Beach balls on the field to stop play.
That's been a part of LA for as long as I've been coming here.
0-2 on Chad Bettis. Clayton Kershaw looking for his 3rd strikeout, and that one's in the dirt. Chad stayed away from that. So it's 1-2.
Guys, I've been an outfielder here at Dodger Stadium many times before, and whenever you get a beach ball, there's 2 choices. You can either give it to the security guard and toss it over, or you can pop it.
Pop it's the preferred method for the visitors.
Yeah, well, I've done both, and popping the balloon is probably the worst thing you can do, especially if it's early in the game, because you become the beach ball popper for the rest of the game, and they do not treat you well. No.
Strike 3 called to Bettis. Another 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Kershaw against the Rockies. 9 up and 9 down. We'll come back to Dodger Stadium after this.
You can get your tickets now for the Fan Appreciation Fireworks, courtesy of Great Clips, on Friday, September 30th, after the Rockies take on the Milwaukee Brewers. I cannot guarantee, however, though, that they'll say root on the fireworks. I think they'll just be really nice and beautiful, but we just, yeah, we made it here, so it looked like root. But no, it's our great friends at Great Clips that are going to help put this on, but you need to get your tickets.
Wow, if it's not root, I'm not going then.
Well,
if it's not root fireworks.
It's still going to be nice, Jerry. You know that.
Okay.
But what's not nice right now is the score.
Yes.
4-0 Dodgers as we head to the bottom of the third inning.
Top of the lineup here for the Dodgers. I'm sorry, Yasmani Grandal leading off for the Dodgers. He led off the last inning when the Dodgers sent 9 to the plate, and he had that single to start the rally. 4 times the Dodgers scored in that second inning off Chad Bettis. This one hit right to Cardullo. He's got that. That'll be out number 1. So Chad Bettis looking for a bounce back inning after giving up 4 runs back in the second. Those 3 singles and 2 walks.
Well, he had 57 pitches through the 2 innings.
Well, the Giants are leading in San Diego tonight 4-0 at this point, and we keep in mind a win for the Dodgers tonight coupled with the Giants' loss in San Diego gives the Dodgers their 4th straight division title. There's a one-hopper right to the second baseman Valleca, and there's 2 quick outs for Chad Bettis. Yeah, there could be some celebrating in Los Angeles tonight if those 2 things happen. Dodgers win, Giants lose. By the way, no team has ever won 4 straight National League West titles, so the Dodgers can do that. 4-0 San Francisco, spoiling the party for now. Howie Kendrick singled back in that 4-run second inning for the Dodgers.
And if they do win the division, it'll be their 15th overall National West title.
And he went around on that pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's another interesting fact, Jack. Jeff, the Dodgers have never gone to the postseason 4 straight years. They have a chance to do that this year. They will do that this year. They're the World Series titles. Last one, 1988. It's been a while.
Well, that was the Kirk Gibson home run. I won't mention that around Walt.
No.
The Oakland A's. Oral Hershiser.
There it is. They have been to the playoffs several times since '88, but never won the World Series. I mentioned to Walt the other day, Thursday, that the home run by Gibson was the only at bat he had in the whole series. And Walt says, "I know. Please do not remind me of that." He said that makes it worse.
That's, we were talking about the dream of Steven Cardullo and not waking up from it. That's the one. If you're Walt, I want to wake up from this bad dream.
Gotcha.
That didn't just happen.
And strike 3 called. Chad Bettis bounces back with a 1-2-3 third against the Dodgers. We'll head to the 4th inning, 4-0 Los Angeles. Defending World Series champs. Top of the 4th inning, and the top of the order for the Rockies against Clayton Kershaw. Charlie Blackmon leads off. Kershaw has set down the first 9, so the Rockies have gone through the order in order. Strike 1 on Blackmon.
So just got an email about that play at first that they overturned, that they said that they could determine that the ball basically hit the interior part of the glove before the foot hit the bag, is why they overturned that call.
That was the explanation. Huh? The thing we keep in mind as Blackmon went around 0-2 is the umpires in New York who make that decision sometimes see different angles that we don't see. They have all the angles. They have all the TV and ballpark angles that they can choose from. And so sometimes there's a different look that they have, we don't. And that's why maybe some of these surprise us.
But I also think that they should be able to let everybody know right then and there why they made that call and why they overturned it.
Well, mic up and ump like you do in the NFL. That's a bouncing ball up the middle. Utley in the backhand. Quick throw in time to get Blackmon. Another fine play by the veteran Chase Utley defensively.
What Chase is doing now, because he doesn't have quite the arm strength that he had in his earlier years, but he gets rid of it quickly. This doesn't stay long in his glove before he gets it over to first base. But it's on the money, right in the webbing on the Subaru Supermo, and then out of the glove over to Adrian Gonzalez to get Charlie by a step. And you see that a lot from pitchers. They'll point to their fielder when they make a play like that.
So the first 10 retired by Clayton Kershaw, thanks to 2 terrific defensive plays by that man. Eskelso flied to right first time up. And he'll do the same here. Josh Reddick makes that play. 2 outs. Let's go downstairs to Ryan Spilborghs.
Well, last night with Nolan Arenado's historic 40th home run, it put him in some elite company with Todd Helton and Andres Galarraga for having back-to-back seasons with 40 homers. But more impressive to Nolan was the fact that Vince Scully, on his special night, made that call.
I wasn't thinking about it at all this beginning of the year or any years, you know, and I just try to focus on every day. But once you get to 39, you're just kind of like, it starts to kind of creep in your head a little bit. And I was like, man, I hope I can do this on the road at Dodger Stadium. That'd be a great place to do it. And then it was even cooler to do it on Vin Scully Day. So, you know, I actually got that bat and I sent it up to him. Hopefully he'll sign it for me and I can put it away. It'd be pretty cool.
So prior to today's game, Nolan's bat was sitting on Vin's desk up in the booth, and there's a good chance that Vin will sign that for Nolan. I think we all hear about the stories from Southern California kids about how Nolan and his family grew up loving Vince Scully. There's the bat sitting on Vin's scorebook for tonight's game. So if it sits right there, pretty sure he's going to sign it. He has to. He has to do it because it's in front of his book.
He's got to move it anyway. I don't know if he's going to sign it yet.
He's got to put it down to the side to call the game. But how special is that to have it sitting there for Vin?
Pretty cool.
Great story, Ryan.
Nolan Arenado, of course, growing up listening to Vin Scully, both TV and radio. He said, I asked him about that today. He said, I'm just glued to the TV set when the Dodgers are on. Not necessarily for the Dodgers, but to listen to Vin. And I think that's the way it is for a lot of folks around here. There's a ground ball. That could be an infield single. Long throw. Not in time. There's a first hit tonight for the Rockies. Arenado gets it. Didn't hit the ball very hard, but he hit in the right spot.
That's right. And just out of the reach of Justin Turner, but still Corey Seager playing behind it gets a throw off to first. He pulls it into the hole, misses it, and then Corey Seager is playing the second third base position, and he comes over and makes a strong throw to first. That's some range from the youngster.
Got a pretty good arm too. Ryan Rayburn will try to keep this inning going for the Rockies. Strike one. Rayburn grounded out to Seager, his first time up. Extra right-handed bat in the lineup. Ryan Rayburn in left tonight for the Rockies. That's a bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike on Rayburn. And a terrific pinch hitter this year for the Rockies. In fact, he's got 4 home runs as a pinch hitter. That's a second in Rockies history for one season. Hit that well to center, but right at Jock Peterson. That's the 3rd out. That's the hardest hit ball the Rockies have had against Kershaw tonight. Nothing doing in the 4th for the Rockies. Back to LA in a moment. 20% off your online order at Papa John's. Use a promo code ROXWIN, ROXWIN, at papajohns.com. 4-0. The Dodgers lead. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jock Peterson had a big hit back in that 4-run second. Will take strike one from Chad Bettis. Peterson, Kershaw, and Utley for the Dodgers. Pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jock Peterson. Berkeley, California native. Swing and a miss. He was out in front of that pitch. 1-2.
But he didn't want to play for Cal Berkeley. He wanted to come down and play for USC like his dad.
Correct. Younger sister playing volleyball at USC. Very athletic family, but Jock Peterson said the hero in his life is his younger brother. That's Champ Peterson, who's got Down syndrome. Last time the Rockies were here, the previous series, he was in attendance with the family. Was Champ.
It's a must-read story.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
2-2 is hit foul.
George, you gotta add that.
Chad Bettis, after that 4-run second, came back with a 1-2-3 third. Trying to do something similar here in the fourth inning. And there's ball 3.
Still a really violent swing for Jock, but he's cut down some of the pitches that he swings at.
Burst on the scene last year, the first half of the season, all those home runs. And he takes ball 4. Chad Bettis walks the first man he sees here in the fourth.
It's a 61st walk for Jock Peterson, and he leads the Dodgers. We talk about his strikeouts, but all 61 walks.
Help your on base percentage when you walk like that. Clayton Kershaw. You would guess anyway would have asked to put a bunt down again. Did that beautifully back in the second inning. He put 2 in scoring position. They both eventually scored.
This one he'll try to bunt towards first. The last one he just put out in front of home plate.
Pulled the bat back there, but took it for a ball outside. I mentioned it, he swings the bat well.
And what he did too was he just brought the hands back down together and choked up. Was thinking about just playing pepper. That's what it's about, is the bat control. So you'll slide the top hand up, you'll slide the bottom hand up to bunt. Well, that's a good bunt again.
He plays at first, and Kershaw does his job again.
Second sacrifice tonight for Clayton.
Puts Jock Peterson at second base. Gets Kershaw back in the dugout to get ready to throw, and we'll get back to top of the order. Chase Utley has walked and struck out tonight against Chad Bettis. Longtime member of the Phillies, second year here with the Dodgers. He played at UCLA. He was a teammate of Garrett Atkins at UCLA. This guy played short. Atkins played third. It was quite a combination. And a second baseman most of his career in Major League Baseball.
Well, before the game today, Chase Utley was presented with the 2016 Roy Campanella Award, and that's voted on by your teammates. It exemplifies the spirit and leadership of the late Hall of Famer Roy Campanella, so it's quite the honor for Chase. It was presented by the late Hall of Famer's daughter and grandson.
Fly ball to left. That looks like it's playable for Rayburn. Circles around and drops the ball. That's a fair ball. That's going to possibly score a run. Play at the plate and safe. The ball got away.
Wow. Well, 2 nights ago, we saw David Dahl go to that corner and then pull his arm back as the ball dropped down and went for a double. Cost a couple runs that inning, or 1 run, and then this one, I mean, this is just a straight drop. Wasn't worried about the wall. Goes off the top of his glove on the Subaru Supermo. And Jock Peterson never slows up. And then the throw's coming in home, but it's a tough pick for Tony because it was in between hop, and then it doesn't get caught.
There's a swing and a drive by Seager to center. Charlie Blackmon's just shy of the track. Runner at second will tag. That is Utley. 2 outs in the inning.
So after the ball was dropped, it gets relayed back into Daniel. And Daniel with the 1 hop, it just skips on Tony. That's what happened. Skipped off the grass. He had Jock Peterson sliding in and never caught the ball.
Tony holds on to that. That's an out at home. Justin Turner at the plate. Turner has a couple of hits. He's driven in a run. 2 singles. 5-0 Dodgers. And it's in there, strike 1.
That's now 104 errors on the season for the Rockies. They come in 25th in all of baseball in fielding percentage.
Strike 2. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Dodgers. I think maybe Ryan Rayburn looked up to see that runner, Jeff.
Yes, he
before
did.
Caught the ball.
And you could see that as he was starting to catch it, his eyes were already leaving the glove, heading back towards the infield, just looking that way.
Bet is trying to limit the damages inning to 1 run. 0-2 on the hitter Justin Turner. That is pitch count getting up there. It is at 82. There's a base hit to center. Scores another. Justin Turner with 3 hits in the game and a couple of RBIs. He had 6-0 Dodgers. And the air comes back to bite the Rockies again.
And this is why currently the Dodgers are season high 22 games above 500. That is a good pitch, even a better piece of hitting. You see how low he has to go get that ball? You know, Tony was already dropping to his knees thinking that he's going to have to try to block it.
This will get a visit from the pitching coach, Steve Foster, out to the mound. And the Rockies have some stirring in their bullpen again.
While we have a minute, I'll tell you that you're planning an event, you don't want to strike out, you can hit a dinger. Send an email to dinger@rockies.com or call 303-312-2266 for more information about having Dinger, the Rockies mascot, show up at your next special event. Eddie Butler for the 2nd time tonight.
Ball 1 to Adrian Gonzalez. It's the 6th hitter in this inning. 9 sent to the plate back in the 2nd. And there's a ground ball to short. That's actually Arenado on the flip to second base, and the inning comes to an end. Dodgers scored 2 more. They've taken a 6-0 lead for Clayton Kershaw after 4. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Bank of the West. For personal approach to banking, go West. Bank of the West. That's a familiar face right there. Who is that?
That is me, of course, today. In the Hollywood Walk of Fame, standing right by Vin and his star. We walked up and down. We finally had to Google where it was because there's a lot of stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But I wanted this stars.
Yes. So we star.
Yep. So we found it and ended up taking a picture of it, and it was quite the day.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I have never been over there to that.
Well, you need to. It's pretty. Yeah. It brings back a lot of memories from different shows that I remember watching with my mom and dad. My son Kyle with me. He's the one that took the picture. I didn't just ask some stranger to come up there. Hey, take my picture here with my phone.
Well, maybe you had a selfie stick with you or something.
No, I didn't take one of those.
Okay. Gerardo Parra leads off against Clayton Kershaw in this 5th inning. 6-0 Rockies trail. And Parra takes strike one. One hit in the game. Infield single by Nolan Arenado against Clayton Kershaw. He has a no-hitter against the Rockies in his career. Happened a couple of years ago here. It's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gerardo Parra.
Clayton in his last 9 games against the Rockies, he's 8-0.
17-5 in his career. 32nd career start against the Rockies. And that bounced up there.
Only Randy Johnson has more career wins against Colorado than Clayton. But Clayton's also tied with the San Francisco Giants' Matt Cain.
Matt Cain has always pitched well against the Rockies. Maybe this year the exception. Parra looking to bunt, takes a pitch low. 2-1. Kershaw 3 Cy Young Awards, 2011, 2013, 2014. Didn't win it last year. He had the most strikeouts in a season in his career, but still didn't win it. He had a teammate that was a little better. Popped up right behind home plate for Grandal. Almost right on the plate, and he makes the catch.
It's like they say, right up the elevator shaft.
Got him a few of those tonight, has Kershaw. And one down for Steven Cardullo.
You always hear that comparison of Clayton Kershaw and Sandy Koufax, but what's interesting is Sandy Koufax taught Clayton Kershaw his curveball grip. So Koufax not only has drawn the comparisons with Kershaw, but has had a pretty important hand in Kershaw's success. The other person that deserves a lot of credit is on the Dodgers coaching staff, and that's Rick Honeycutt. And he taught Clayton Kershaw that back foot slider to the righties. I remember facing Kershaw so many times. He was just straight fastball and the curveball. And I remember a start in Colorado, Ubaldo versus Kershaw. He broke out the back foot slider. And when I walked back to the dugout, I looked at the rest of our teammates and I go, hey guys, we have no more shot against this guy.
Hey, but you have him twice in your book, though.
Before he learned the back foot slider.
Hey, you didn't need to add that. You could have said, yeah, I've got him twice.
Okay, I got him twice.
There you go.
Much better, Ryan. Good job.
But then he got me like 50 times.
That one's well hit by Cardullo. Kendrick, it's over his head. It's going to be a ground rule double. Steven Cardullo with the extra base hit against Clayton Kershaw. Good swing by Cardullo. Second hit for the Rockies in the game.
And talk about waiting back for a ball. You know, Steven does. Waits back on the breaking pitch. And this was the curveball. But see where this ends up? Right across there. It's easier for the hitter to try to get on that one because you're not guessing as much as far as where is that angle going as I start my swing.
Puts a man in scoring position for the Rockies for the first time tonight. Pat Valaika is the hitter. And he'll foul this one away. Strike one.
I'm impressed with the youngsters tonight. That some of the swings are getting off on the veteran Kershaw. You just had the double by Cardullo, and now that first pitch swinging by Pat.
You mentioned me off the air. That's not a bad approach to Kershaw. Look for a fastball early.
You have to, because Billy was talking about it just a moment ago about the back foot slider and this curveball. Well, very few times is he going to make a mistake with the curveball. He did to Cardullo. He hit that out. But you don't want to be trying to hit those pitches, because guys are hitting just 134 against the slider, 105 against the curveball. So why would I try to hit something that's pretty hard to hit?
I don't have an answer for that.
Well, that's why you try to hit the fastball if you can.
Gotcha. Cardullo almost got caught between second and third, but he's back to second base. Good play by Grandal to keep that ball in front of him. Kershaw missing 2 months this season, herniated disc. And amazingly, the Dodgers didn't miss a beat. They just kept on winning.
Yeah, his last start prior to coming back was June 26th at Pittsburgh. Went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, and then the rest of the time was nursing that back.
Lakers strikes out, second out of the inning for the Dodgers. They've had so many injuries this year, and then this happened. It's Kershaw leaving for 2 months. Everybody pointed the Dodgers saying, all right, they're going to fall off. They're going to keep falling, and they did not do it. They just kept together, and now they're getting healthy again with Kershaw back.
You know, myself included, I thought that that's when it was going to go for them, just because that he has been that glue the whole time. No matter what was happening around the Dodgers, they always had Kershaw. And then when he went down, I said, oh, that could be it.
0-1 to Walters. 55 different players for the Dodgers this year, and the pitchers, how about they've used 31 different pitchers. And here's the list. It's a long one. The 2 coming back from injuries, Kazmir and Anderson, the Rockies have seen already in the series, and got Kershaw in this game 3.
But Kazmir had to leave last night's start after just 1 inning. Rich Hill has been pushed back, and originally he was scheduled to go tomorrow. Is not going to. It'll be Brandon McCarthy, who's had elbow and hip problems. And then Ryu. They keep waiting the last, what is it, 2 years, 2+ years for Ryu to come back.
It's to Walters. Tony swings right through that one. Dave Roberts asked about all those injuries on Thursday before the game. He said, you know, 2 things have happened. Number one, the guys that haven't been hurt have really stepped up and played well. And he said it's a credit to our depth as well for the organization to bring guys up and fill those holes. Tony lost his bat on that foul ball. One ball and 2 strikes on Walters. Man at second base, 2 outs. We're in the 5th inning, a 6-0 lead for the Dodgers. They scored 4 times in the 2nd inning, 2 more in the 4th. Tony Walters thought he had a base hit last time up, but he was played first overruled, and they called him out. Base hit could get the Rockies on the board. And a ground ball up the middle. Utley circles around, has this one. Quick throw to first. It's in time. And Kershaw sets down the Rockies in this 5th inning. Middle of the 5th. It's a 6-0 Dodgers lead. We'll zero in on the National League Manager of the Year candidates this year. There are 3 of them, Madden, Baker, and Dave Roberts here for the Dodgers. Jeff, you got a vote you want to cast at this point?
Well, I look at all 3 of these guys, and they're all deserving. I mean, Joe Madden, what he's done with the Cubs, Dusty Baker after sitting out a couple years now, and then Dave Roberts here with the Dodgers. Joe Madden's won it 3 times. He won it in 2008 and 2011 with Tampa Bay, won it last year with the Cubs. Dusty's won it 3 times. I'm partially leaning right now to Dave Roberts.
He's got my vote. I just think he's done a terrific job to hold this together in LA with all these injuries. Well, number one, I think there's a lot of pressure coming in. His team had been the postseason 3 years in a row, winning divisions. He comes in with that. That is a fair ball. Good play by Cardulo, and he'll flip to Bettis to get that first out. And I'm with you, Jeff. I think that that vote goes to the manager here.
Take you back to this play. Stevens had some tough plays tonight, but then once he snags this, I like how he pops up and then just kind of starts running towards Chad. That's making it an easier feed to the pitcher. Underhand and then right back to you. Throw that baseball around.
Josh Reddick, the next hitter. That's Dave Roberts on the right. He's talking to Yasiel Puig at the end of the dugout. He has a great see, this is what he does. He sits down with play. He's got a great relationship, great communicator is Dave Roberts. I think that's made a difference this year.
I agree with you guys. I spent a little bit of time with Doc Roberts a couple days ago, and he was talking about when he first started coaching in professional baseball, he was just an outfield coach. And so he had the responsibility of a couple outfielders. Then he got promoted with the Padres to the bench coach, and now he's taking over the bench. And he said a little bit more responsibility, not as much communication with like he had it with the outfielders. Now that he's a manager, he said it's even more difficult.
Josh Reddick sends one deep to right center, off the top of the wall. And he'll stop at second base with a 1-out double. Reddick almost had himself a home run.
Well, Josh Reddick, it has been a struggle here in LA. Hitting .241, just a home run, 4 RBIs, and came within 1.5 foot of taking this over the spectrum sign in right center field.
Dodgers are surging. This guy's doing the same thing at the plate after a slow start, after a trade. Howie Kendrick, the hitter. Foul tip held on by the catcher.
Let me finish my thought on Doc Roberts because I want to bring it back to you, Huey. You've been a manager and you understand the communication and being so key. How do you do it? How do you manage a team with the communication when it's so many players now?
And that's the key to it. And I think that's what Dave has understood, kind of being with Bud Black and then being that bench coach, that you've got to be able to communicate with everybody. And one thing I learned from some managers talking to them is, first and foremost, talk to your bullpen guys. Okay, and then talk to your bench guys. Go to those guys. Make sure they're happy first. Make sure they understand what their role is, because the starters are going to get their love, and the everyday players are going to get their love. But make sure you get those guys that are not playing every day. Make sure they get their, just see how they're doing, see how the family's doing. And I think that's the way you're able to communicate.
We've been doing just that with Puig, who doesn't play every day. Also, I think it's hard not to pull for a guy like Dave Roberts, just a friendly man, but a cancer survivor as well, as Hendrick strikes out. Hodgkin's lymphoma, diagnosed in 2010. Dave Roberts, 2011, a little over a year later, he was cleared of it, hasn't come back, and clean bill of health he's been given, and it has stayed. Hard not to pull for somebody like that. Two outs in the inning, and the hitter Jock Peterson.
They're going to intentionally walk Jock with the 2 outs.
Yeah, makes sense. First base is open, left-handed hitter, pitcher on deck.
Well, and if you're Chad too, you just need to get out of this inning. Your spot's leading off next inning. They're going to pinch hit for you, so it doesn't matter where you're not thinking, well, we need to wait and see what the pitcher. You get this guy out, you get the pitcher leading off next inning.
Here's ball 3. Chad Bettis will be done after this inning. We know that. That's 99 pitches. Here's 100. And Peterson will get down to first base. He's been on base 3 times. Clayton Kershaw has a chance to help himself.
Number 22, Clayton Kershaw.
He has put 2 sacrifice bunts down in this game. Second inning and 4th inning. Both times they led to runs for the Dodgers. Reddick at second, Peterson at first, 2 away. And ball 1 to Clayton Kershaw. On the year 162, he's a 169 hitter for his career. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kershaw.
We're talking about Clayton Kershaw and his high school, Matthew Stafford, Angie Harmon, Jane Mansfield, and the running back Doak Walker.
Oh, that's right, from his high school. Yep, forgot about him. Yeah, Kershaw was actually an offensive lineman on that football. He wasn't even the quarterback. He was one of the quarterback. Stafford was the quarterback.
I could see that.
He was an offensive lineman. Seriously. Maybe I would think he might have been the backup quarterback with that arm, but maybe not.
Maybe a wide receiver.
You know, he was 220 pounds in high school, senior year. He said, "No, that's where they put me. We had an All-American quarterback, and they needed me on the offensive line." He said he really enjoyed playing on the offensive line. He said he loved it.
I just can't picture him as an offensive lineman.
Me either. He said he loved it. He bloops this into left, and it's going to score a run. Clayton Kershaw does that. He helps himself, and it's 7-0 Los Angeles. Not afraid to swing the bat, and a good piece of hitting going the other way. Clayton Kershaw.
Well, you had the intentional walk of Jock Peterson, so you hoped you could get to Kershaw, but he went down and got this. No stride whatsoever for Clayton. He slices it to left field. Josh Reddick, who had doubled with 1 out, comes around to score 3rd RBI this year for Clayton.
And Walt Weiss is going to pull Bettis. We've got a pitching change. Back in a moment. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Back at Dodger Stadium, 7-0 now. The Dodgers have the lead. A pitching change for the Rockies. That's it for Chad Bettis. On this beautiful night, he will give way to Matt Caracidi as Clayton Kershaw not only throwing the shutout, but knocking in a run this inning as well.
7 runs, and that'll be up to Matt to just get through this inning, get this last out. It's been a struggle for Matt this year in the 15 ball games. Guys hitting .414 against him. And a rough night for Chad Bettis. On the hook for 7 runs right now, 5 earned.
How about that tweet? The best ever at everything. It might be at pitching anyway these days. Chase Utley is at the plate. Utley is 0 for 2 with a walk. He hit that fly ball down the left field line that Rayburn dropped for an error that led to a run. He's also walked and struck out tonight. And a couple good defensive plays again. 2 outs, so Matt Caracidi trying to get this last out, get the Rockies back in the dugout. And way outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Caracidi, some very solid minor league numbers, AA and AAA, that just have not translated to the big leagues so far.
Well, it's more about execution than anything. Execution with both his fastball and his forkball. He's not been able to command them on a consistent basis.
Walked very few in the minors this year, and they came up and started walking guys at the major league level. That's what you always talk about, lack of execution. 2-1 pitch, and that's a ground ball to Cardullo. He's going to flip to his pitcher, and that'll be the 3rd out in this 5th inning for the Dodgers. They score again. They have taken a 7-0 lead after 5.
Of Georgia, what a marvelous moment for the country and the world.
Amazing moment in history on April 8th, 1974, and what's even more amazing is what Vin did after Hank Aaron hit that .715 home run that broke Babe Ruth's record. He walked away for over a minute and allowed just silence and the sound of the crowd to play out in the background, the fireworks. And during that time, he walked to the back of the press box, had a glass of water, composed himself, and then came back and made that beautiful call. What a marvelous moment for baseball. He's a legend. I'm going to miss him.
As we all are, Spilly. Well done. He always has said to young broadcasters, he tells us when people ask him for advice, he says, don't overdo it. Underdo it if you have to. Don't overdo it. He hasn't overdone anything, including the Hank Aaron call.
And what a call it was, and it's very poetic.
Yep. Christian Adames will pinch hit here. This is Chad Bettis' spot. As Clayton Kershaw goes back to work against the Rockies, throwing 75 pitches to this point, 52 for strikes. That one hit well to left center field. On the move is Peterson, gonna grab it. He got there in time. Let's look at a Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Talking about the tenure here for Vin Scully, which is 67 years. How about all these presidents while he's working for the Dodgers? What do we got, 12?
12 of them.
12.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Dating all the way back to Harry Truman.
He has seen a lot of stuff in his lifetime. Well, he's 87 years old. 88 years old.
I got another number for you. You're talking about the age. So if you got a new job today, you would have to work there until 2083. 2083 to work as long as Vin has been broadcasting Dodger games.
Charlie Blackmon to right center field, but Peterson had him played right. 2 outs. Yeah, that's
How about that?
That's remarkable, isn't it? I'm hoping to live to age 67.
And that's kind of what Vince said in his remarks the other day when they were talking about it. He said, you know, most people, if you look at retirement when they're 65 and, you know, you kind of have a plan on what you want to do after that. Vin was joking around. He said, now that I'm 88, I just hope that I stay alive after I retire.
Exactly.
And only Vin's style. It wasn't, He wasn't trying to, you know, make it more than what it was. He was just laughing at the longevity.
Another fly ball to Peterson. He's been busy. 3 fly ball outs to Peterson in this 6th inning. Rockies get on in order again. Bottom of the 6th coming up with the Dodgers up 7-0.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Rockies uphill climb down 7-0. But you know what? There's still time to get tickets for next year. If you're interested in season tickets or the mini plan, you can call 303 Rockies today for more information about a plan that is best for you and get on the season ticket and or mini plan. Eddie Butler coming into the ball game, and Eddie just wants to finish this last 7-8 games on a strong note. It's been a rough go of it in the 15 ball games. 7.35 ERA, a WHIP of 1.67. Opponents hitting .333 against Eddie.
He's trying to find some footing, is Eddie Butler.
Well, now at shortstop will be Christian Adames as Daniel Descalso comes out of the game. That's where the pitcher spot will be now. The number 2 spot in the batting order.
Corey Seager, the hitter, and the count 1 ball 1 strike with him. He's 0 for 3. The Rockies done a good job against this rookie in the series.
He's 0 for 11.
1 and 2 on Seager. Eddie Butler, a starter at the beginning, a reliever these days, and just hasn't quite found success either way.
Yeah, he went down to the minor leagues and had success down there as a starter.
Strike 3 called. Seager's 0 for 4, so Eddie Butler strikes out the first man he sees here in the 6th inning.
Good start for Eddie.
He's got a world of talent. We know that. Eddie Butler, some minor league numbers, some seasons were mind-boggling. One year he led all the minors in ERA at 1.92 earned run average in 2012. Gonna get Justin Turner now. Pretty tough numbers against Eddie Butler in his career. And the breaking ball's ball 1.
Well, tough numbers tonight for Justin Turner. 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. 89 now on the season.
3 singles, first, third, second innings. 2-0. Justin Turner, when he came over to the Dodgers, really was more of a utility guy than anything, but he's planted at third base and doing a heck of a job there defensively. Very solid and does well with the bat.
Yeah, he got a chance over here to go over there. Juan Uribe was playing some, then he gets hurt, and Justin took off and really just cemented himself as a number 3 or 4 hitter, kind of depending on how they worked it out, but now primarily the 3rd place hitter in their lineup.
They had really, there's ball 4. The Dodgers struggled getting a lot of production offensively out of that third base position for several years, and then Turner arrives and he's getting a lot of solid work at third.
Look at a third baseman in Dodgers. Ronce was here today, like he is almost every day. But Ronnie, you don't realize how short he is.
I know. He looks the same as when he played
does,
too.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like he just stepped off the field. Adrian Gonzalez, strike 1.
But they had that, I think it was an 8-year run with all those guys together, with Garvey, Say, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes. Man in the infield here for the Dodgers.
Gonzalez tonight is 0 for 3. So the Rockies done a good job against him tonight. He hasn't done much so far in the game. Really in the series. Yeah, that always hits well against the Rockies. A little quiet. Padres are coming back. Strike 2.
You know who rejoined the team for the Padres? Yangervis Solarte.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
Well, good for him. He said he wanted to do that. He said that was his plan when he took off, is to be back with his baseball family. 2-2 on Gonzalez.
Our thoughts and prayers are still with he and his daughters.
Yep. The story, lost his wife to cancer. She was living in Miami, left the series in Denver to attend the funeral. High again, 3-2 to Gonzalez. And he said when he left, the day he left, he said, I want to come back. I don't want to be done with baseball this year. I want to come back, and he's done that. Good for him. One down, Justin Turner at first base. 3-2 count on the hitter Adrian Gonzalez. Eddie Butler fires, runner moving, and it's fouled away.
Some people might be thinking, well, you're up 7-0. It's the 6th inning. Why you run it? To me, it's still early enough where you can send that guy to try to stay out of a double play. Now, if it was a 7th inning, yeah, probably not. Definitely not the 8th.
Turner takes off again. That pitch, swing and a miss. Gonzalez is down on strikes. That's his 2nd strikeout in the inning for Eddie Butler.
Tony threw me off for a moment. I thought I had missed something. He started to run off the field. It was just the 2nd out.
He's checking to make sure with the umpire.
Well, go down as the 4th stolen base this season, but the Subaru Supermo, just watch Tony. So it's into the glove. He just starts to run off the field.
Oops. It's only 2. Grandal swings and misses, and an Eddie Butler off speed pitch. Strike 1.
I think Tony was fooled because Justin Turner was running, and you're talking about the score being in the 6th inning, 7-0. I think Tony just thought he was going on a 3-2, 3-1 count with 2 outs.
Well, and that's what threw me off after I said it. Then I started to question myself, thinking, well, maybe I lost track of the number of outs.
So the point I'm getting at is I don't think Tony was expecting him to run at all based on the score.
Well, the only counter argument I would have to that, the Rockies were still holding him on at first base. If you're playing behind, definitely not. But that might be the only counter argument you would have then. But who among us on a baseball field has not lost track of the outs? I have. I'm going to admit it right now.
Put my hand up. I guess Billy hasn't. 2 outs, runner at 2nd base.
My mic was off.
Oh, okay.
Still hasn't answered the question.
No, his mic's back on, but he didn't answer the question.
Yeah, okay, oh, his mic must be off again. So Justin Turner with 3 singles, a walk, and a stolen base against the Rockies tonight.
Cricket still.
Good.
Mike is this a technical problem down there, I think.
The battery went out on it.
Yeah. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Eddie Butler has a chance to strike out the side. That'll give him some confidence. Here's his pitch. And high and outside. So a full count on Yasmani Grandal. Josh Reddick has had a good night waiting on deck. A left-handed hitter again. Grandal here is switch hitter hitting left-handed. And high, it's ball 4. So 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in the inning for Eddie Butler.
It's the 6th walk tonight by the Rockies pitchers. Now, one of them was intentional. Jock Peterson, but still 5 then if you take that intentional away. It's the 20th walk that the Rockies have issued in this series. Dodgers only have 3.
Reddick tonight has walked and doubled, scored twice. And that pitch is outside, ball 1. Reddick is an interesting past as well. His father is an electrical lineman in Georgia, was electrocuted when Josh was 2 years old. Lost, father did one hand, a couple fingers off the other, and still went on to be a very successful baseball coach. Coached Josh and his brother. And the pitch outside, 2-0 to Josh Reddick. Someone asked Josh early in the year, he's playing in Oakland, he said, what was it like to have a father about a hand trying to coach and throw? He said, I didn't know any different. He said, I grew up that way, and Dad just didn't have one hand and missing 2 fingers off the other and just coped with it. And it's a base hit to center. It's going to score Turner, and the Dodgers going to go up 8-0 in this game. Ball gets away, and Eddie Butler backing up the play. Dodgers tonight just keep coming at you. Reddick with his 2nd hit, 3rd time he's been on base.
Just the 5th RBI wearing Dodger blue. This time he hits it up the middle. And that walk to Justin Turner comes in to score.
So you got Grandal at 2nd, Reddick at 1st for Howie Kendrick. He struck out twice and singled tonight, has Kendrick. 9 hits now for the Dodgers. We talked about Eddie Butler's inconsistency. A lot of times it's within an inning, like it is tonight. A couple strikeouts, but then a couple walks and a base hit.
Throw some pitches that you like on the corners. You have heavy sink, good movement. A slider that's good, and then too many times though it's been 1-0, 2-0. That's the pitch you like, because then he can come back with 96.
Right. Exactly right. And a foul ball off the bat of Howie Kendrick. 1 ball and 2 strikes. About Kendrick being that versatile man. He has 75 starts in left. He has 13 starts at 3rd base this year. 9 at 1st. He's been a DH. Former Angel, been a very valuable player. Underrated perhaps this year on this team, overshadowed by others. Swing and a miss, and Butler got him there with the slider, and that is out number 3. Another run scored by the Dodgers, 6th inning. They've taken an 8-0 lead over the Rockies. Trailing. We're in the 7th inning as Nolan Arenado leads off. Clayton Kershaw back on the hill, allowing just 2 Rockies hits, an infield single for Nolan and a double for Steven Cardullo.
In the last 18 innings for Clayton, he's only allowed 7 hits total, 1 run, and that was unearned. So any talk about Clayton in the back and where he's at, well, I think that's been answered and then some.
Yep. Went back where the Dodgers wanted him and where they have seen him for so many years. Arenado, Rayburn, and Parr in this inning for the Rockies, and strike 1 called to Nolan.
Nolan thought that was inside.
Struck out the first time, infield single, 4th inning. That was the first hit off of Kershaw. In addition to being perhaps the greatest pitcher on the planet, Kershaw, a wonderful humanitarian, does lots of work overseas in a couple different African countries. Has built 2 different orphanages. And the pitch is low. It's 2-1 to Arenado.
On deck, the new Papa.
Oh, there he is.
Dustin
Dustin Garneau. Good for him.
That was filthy.
Yeah, guys, it's a good action on that pitch by Kershaw, slider.
Well, for Clayton, he's still pitching like this is a 0-0 ball game.
Yep.
You know, say, well, because it's 8-0, I'm gonna just feed you fastball, see what you can do. No, he's still out there pitching.
You talked about Kershaw being the 7th pick overall in the draft in 2006. The Rockies had the 2nd pick that year.
There's Greg Reynolds.
Reynolds, yep. It was a good draft. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to find center field for Nolan. 2nd hit for him, 3rd hit in the game for the Rockies. And hit it all that hard, but it found the opening and the leadoff man aboard.
2 infield singles for Nolan. That one got to the outfield, but just the seeing eye. A couple knocks, and now Dustin Garneau and his wife had a new parents, the twins.
13, Dustin Garneau.
That's awesome. It is awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, hashtag twinning. Now Dustin's been driving back and forth home and just saying when he goes to San Francisco, that'll be San Francisco and Denver for the last week of the season. That'll be the last time he gets some rest for a while.
And strike 1 to Dustin Garneau. Actually had a very good 2nd half of the year with the bat. The defense has always been ahead of the offense for Dustin Garneau, but he feels like the bat has caught up to him. He made some adjustments. We talked to him the other day about it. Made some mechanical adjustments at the plate that's really helped. Pulls that one hard, foul down the line.
Well, the Dodgers used to have a catcher here by the name of A.J. Ellis. He got a little bit of a later start in his career because he was always the catch and throw guy. Always could block, called a good game. There's the scoreboard. And that's why you're hearing the cheers. San Diego just tied it up.
Giants are at 5-0, weren't they? 1 point? 4-0 maybe?
4 or 5-0.
And Garneau couldn't hold his swing throw to second base. Arenado out at second. That's going to be a double play. On the dirt, Nolan tried to take second. He got thrown out by Grandal while Garneau struck out.
Down 8-0. At first it was a curveball to get Garneau, and then Nolan trying to advance. Right on the money was the throw from Yasmani. You know, 2 quick outs on that pitch. With that victory over Pittsburgh, the Nationals clinched the East.
It's a team, in my mind. A lot of folks aren't talking a whole lot about that. It's a pretty darn good baseball team. The Cubs are the sweetheart right now. They're the Hollywood favorite, but the Nationals are pretty strong.
That win tonight, that gives them 90 wins on the season, 90 and 64.
Parra swings and fouls that one, 0-2.
So we were mentioning about Solarte a moment ago. He just had a base hit in that San Diego game.
Very nice.
He rounded first and then pointed to the sky after, yeah.
Beautiful. 0-2 to Parra, right down the middle, strike 3, and a quick inning for Kershaw. 7th inning stretch here in Los Angeles, and the Dodgers up 8-0 over the Rockies. Los Angeles, and the Dodgers in Game 3 putting it to the Rockies. 8-0 is our score. We got some defensive changes for the Rockies. We'll get to those. First of all, new left fielder Jordan Patterson will take over. Another rookie in center. That's Raimel Tapia. We got a couple rookie outfielders that the Rockies like a lot, and now Blake has moved over to third base.
We're not done yet.
Jock Peterson, the hitter, against Eddie Butler. Next pitch, he is popped up foul. Dustin Garneau stays in the ball game. He's the catcher. Tony Walters was the catcher. Tony playing second base now. So the AAA Albuquerque Isotopes will
just two guys left from the original starting lineup. Steven Cardullo at first and Gerardo Parra in right field.
Parra is the only player on the field that hasn't played at AAA this year. Swinging in a foul as Peterson just caught a piece of that Eddie Butler pitch. 0-2 on Jock Peterson. He's been busy tonight. He's got a 2-run single and he has walked twice. One was intentional. 1-2. We're told for the Dodgers, Brandon McCarthy will start tomorrow, and for the Rockies, Tyler Anderson. He's trying to bounce back tomorrow and get a game. That pitch is inside, almost hit Peterson, or did it? It did. It caught him. He's on base again. That's for Peterson 4 times on base, and Eddie Butler hits the first man he sees.
Now Andre Ethier. Pitch hit. Catch him on the back foot. Try to jump out of the way.
Eddie Butler able to limit the damage back in the 6-1 run. He'll get a pinch hitter now, Andre Ethier.
Ethier 2 for 2 pinch hitting in the series. Won the double, and then last night the home run.
He and Peterson back-to-back homers, and he'll foul the first pitch back.
Well, last night, this is the ones that hurt, because the Rockies were just down 2-0 at the time, and there was 2 outs in the inning. And then Jock Peterson hit a home run, and then right behind him, Andre Ethier to extend the lead to 4-0.
Strike 2 to Ethier. Broken leg, so he missed a bunch of time just coming back, and coming back in time for the Dodgers. They need an extra left-handed bat. Swing and a foul tip that's held on by the catcher. So after a hit batsman, Butler comes back and strikes out Ethier. 1 out, the Dodgers' 7th inning.
Straight fastball, 4-seamer on the Subaru Super Mode, just nicked by Andre Ethier, but held on by Dustin.
Rick Honeycutt, the longtime pitching coach here in Los Angeles. Clayton Kershaw. I don't know what you have to say to Kershaw, but I guess there are some words there.
I'm sure they were saying, you know, what you were doing tonight was right. I like the way you were getting the downhill plane.
There's a drive. Tapia has to play it in front of him. Actually, Patterson comes up with the ball. And a throw to second. They got a runner out there, out at second base. Good play. Baleka, the cutoff man, cut it off and threw to second base. Tony Wolters making the play. So there's an out. It's the second out of the inning.
Wait a second. Something happened. I think they're talking at first base about Stevens.
Got in the way of the runner.
Obstructing the runner.
Yeah. So no out at second base. Peterson ends up at third base. Let's see if we can see what Cardullo might have done with Utley.
Well, I mean, you do have to get out of the way of the runner. And that's one of those things, even though he's standing there and there's no contact, you still have to give the runner the opportunity to run on the path that he wants to.
So no out at second base, 1 out in the inning. Corey Seager, the hitter, second and third, infielders back. And he pops this one up. Shallow center, shortstop Adames going out, now called off by Tapia. And no advance from third base by Peterson. Now there are 2 outs in the inning.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices.
2 outs to the pesky Justin Turner at the plate. Peterson's at third, and Utley's at second. Turner, 3 singles and a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored tonight. 8 runs on 10 hits for the Dodgers now. And a foul ball that caught the, I think, the shin guard of the umpire that time. 1 strike on Turner.
I think it was the umpire.
Yep, Dave Rackley behind the plate. I think it caught his left foot, maybe on the shin. Tony Wolters looks back and he says, I'm all right. Another one. I don't know if that caught Tony Wolters, but caught somebody. 2 balls, no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Dustin Garneau behind the plate, not Wolters. Tony's at second base now.
Where he's been a few times this year. Second, short.
Says he loves still playing the infield. The pitch. And that's outside. Garneau able to backhand that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dodgers got game 1 7-4, 5-2 game 2 last night, 8-0 they lead here in the bottom of the 7th. And they're threatening some more. The pitch down the left field line, could be a home run if it's fair. It'll be a foul ball. Hit that a long way.
Yes, he did, and very high. So everybody was standing at the plate. Justin Turner was. You can see Dave Rackley try to get in position along with Larry Vanover, the third base umpire. Larry, the crew chief.
Christian Bergman in the Rockies bullpen. Fouled away by Turner. Outside that time with a fastball. Plenty of velocity, 96 miles, 97 miles an hour that time for Butler.
Justin already with a base hit with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Today, Los Angeles is 4 for 7. 4 for 7 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Turner gets time at the plate. Eddie Butler taking a while to get his sign. And that one gets past Garneau, but no advance. Peterson thought about it, got back to third base. I think an 8-0 lead. You're probably thinking, all right, I won't take a chance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good job by Garneau to go get that ball and prevent the run from coming in.
Well, I also think that Peterson saw it's a better angle for a guy at third base to see how far that ball gets away from the catcher. He realized that it was going to be really close play at the plate.
And he fouls that fastball back. He's been a tough out all night long, has Justin Turner. Well, the Dodgers' final homestand of the year. They'll finish on the road at San Diego, then at San Francisco. One more game to go in this series. It's tomorrow afternoon.
They have a day off on Monday, just like the Rockies do.
And low, full count to Turner. Eddie Butler trying not to lose. Justin Turner fires the payoff pitch and missed with it.
Ahead in the count 0-2. That is the third walk, just an inning and 2/3 for Eddie.
And a hit batsman to go with it. Now the base is loaded with 2 outs. Adrian Gonzalez. He has been quiet tonight. He has not been quiet against the Rockies in his career.
Or hasn't been quiet in his career with the bases loaded. 366, 5 grannies. This year 417 with a granny.
5 from 12 with the bases loaded. Swings and misses. He was looking for another granny right there, I think. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Eddie Butler.
This is power against power. That time Eddie won.
Staying in the stretch is Eddie Butler with the bases loaded. Out of the screen. 95, 96 miles an hour again for Eddie Butler. Plenty of velocity. Plenty of talent. Runners third, second, and first. 2 outs. 0-2 the count with Gonzalez. Eddie Butler trying to work out of some trouble. Catcher set up inside and bounced up there. Good stop by Dustin Garneau.
Really dropped the knees and the glove at the right time to make sure he smothered that.
And Dustin does a nice job behind the plate. He always has done that. Gonzalez has his share of strikeouts. Butler trying to get another one. Fouled it away. Trying to get on top of that fastball.
I thought early on this year you could start to elevate the fastball to Adrian. Had a tougher time to catch up to it. In the second half, it still is giving him some problems, but he's able to at least foul them off now.
Good stop by Garneau. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peterson has to hold.
Now for Adrian, quickly 0-2, but then you fight your way back to 2-2. He's been in these situations, I don't know how, countless times. And you start to feel more comfortable in each pitch that you start to see.
Here's a 2-2. And he fouls it away again. There was a point right near the All-Star break, right before it, when Gonzalez really hit a slump. I mean, he admitted he just could not find a pitch to barrel up, and his manager, Dave Roberts, gave him 3 days off in a row. And the team played all 3 days, and he said, I'm giving you 3 days. You're going to sit for 3 days. And he'd come back, and he's been a great hitter since.
Giancarlo Stanton did that down in Miami.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yes.
they gave him a few
That's
days
right.
off too. Just want you to work. Now again, just like Justin Turner went from 0-2 to 3-2. Cardinals will be off on the pitch.
Rondell hoping to hit on deck circle. The track meet starts with the 3 runners moving on the pitch. On the way. Ground ball up the middle. It's a base hit. Going to score 2 more Dodgers runs. It is 10-0 Los Angeles. Dodgers just keep pouring it on.
It gives Adrian Gonzalez, he's hit in 8 out of his last 9 games, but 132 RBIs and 165 career games against Colorado. And while we watch this replay, we'll have another pitching change, but Adrian Gonzalez on the Subaru Super Mode takes a pitch that is away from him and just goes that way. It was up, he hits a single into center field, but the runner's going. Jock Peterson, who led off this inning with a hit by pitch, he scores, and so does Chase Utley.
And the Rockies have a pitching change. 10-0 Dodgers. We're in the 7th inning, and Christian Bergman will enter the game. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Dodger Stadium, all Dodgers, 10-0 Los Angeles, and a pitching change for the Rockies as Christian Bergman will get some work from the Rockies bullpen.
Christian has been in this role before for Colorado, where he started some games, been a reliever, really the jack of all trades out in the bullpen. He could sit for 8 or 9 days and then come in and give you some innings.
One more defensive change. That's David Dahl. He's out in right field for the Rockies. And there's the new defensive alignment for Colorado. Ball 2 to Yasmani Grandal.
That's 6 guys now on the ball field that made their major league debut this year. Part of the 12 Rockies that have done it on the season. That's tied for the most. They did that also back in 2014.
Yeah, every player right now on the field for the Rockies has played in the minors this year. And most of them for a long time. I guess Tony Wolter's the one exception. That's 3-1 to Grandal. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 2 more runs in for the Dodgers. And strike call to Grandal. He didn't like that call. 3-2.
But it was at the top of the Subaru strike zone.
Grandal's had that terrific series against the Rockies. Had a base hit in the 2nd inning and scored a walk in the 6th inning. And ball 4. Chad Bettis issued 4 walks. Eddie Butler 3. Christian Bergman, the first guy he sees. Here's the 8th hitter in the inning, Josh Reddick. And he's done some damage tonight. 2 hits and a walk. He's driven in a run, scored twice. Bases are reloaded for the Dodgers. And foul ball.
The 2nd inning, the Dodgers sent 9 men to the plate.
Bergman fires, and that pitch might be playable down the left field line. It's a long run for Patterson and for the Lake, and neither one can make the catch. Drop right between the 2 rookies.
Well, Pat had a long way to run for this. If he was just playing normal instead of in the shift, that's not his fault. That's what the shift is designed to, take those hits away. But he had to run so far down the line that just couldn't catch up to it. And this is what I was talking about. I mean, he's just playing in his spot.
Bergman trying to get this last out in a long 7th inning for the Rockies. Long fly ball to right, and it's way out of here. That's a grand slam. $14-0.
Second grand slam in the 3 games that the Rockies have played against the Dodgers. Grandal in the 7th inning on Thursday night. And now tonight, fastball, Josh Reddick connects. And he has more RBIs tonight, 5, than he had coming into the game as a Dodger, where he only had 4 total.
How about that? Bouncing ball up the middle, grabbed by Adames. That'll be finally out number 3 in the inning. It was a 9th hitter in the inning. It is out number 3. But 6 runs scored by the Dodgers. Josh Reddick, a grand slam. 14-0. Los Angeles has the lead. Brought to you by Kubota. How about the line tonight for Clayton Kershaw? 7 shutout innings, Jeff.
No walks, 6 strikeouts, 91 pitches, 65, 4 strikes. And I think if you ask Rick Honeycutt or Dave Roberts, could we draw something up for Clayton Kershaw where he doesn't have to go over 100 pitches? You know, this would be it. You got the early lead, got his 7 innings of work and continue to build up that arm strength. But Josh Reddick with the big blow last inning with the grand slam to extend the lead 14-0.
Part of a 12-hit attack, and Jesse Chavez takes over now on the mound for Clayton Kershaw.
Chavez 60 ball games on the season. And for Jesse, still trying to make sure that he stays into this 6th, 7th inning role for their bullpen, and their bullpen's been really good this year. They've also thrown a lot of innings. Coming into tonight, they've thrown 559 innings by their relievers, and that sets a single season mark. Their old one was back in 2009 when they've had 553, but it goes back to some of their starting pitching and the injuries that they've had there.
And they've had injuries with position players and lots with starting pitchers, but the bullpen has been pretty steady. As Jeff said, it's just been that way all year long. And a number of different contributors. There have been trades, and demotions, and promotions, and they've all been pretty steady. There's the bullpen ERA. It's the best in the National League. There's you got the back end automatic with Kenley Jansen. Ground ball to short off the bat of Cardullo. And 1 down. Who wants tacos? Fans, follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs in a game. Dodgers have twice that many tonight. 14-0 they lead. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Pat Baleka will hit for the 3rd time. Started 2nd, now playing 3rd base defensively. He is 0 for 2 against Kershaw, a fly out and a strikeout. Part of a big baseball family. Older brother Chris Baleka was in the majors for a while, played with the Reds. This guy, you've got another older brother that played minor league ball, and a younger brother who was a redshirt sophomore at UCLA.
Obviously, Pat was talking about that, being able to play at UCLA and then just drive up the road, you know, to see some games at Dodger Stadium, but then now to be playing in Dodger Stadium. Had an uncle fly in for the game. A lot of friends and family in attendance.
Versatile guy defensively, got a little pop in his bat. He was a Double-A All-Star this year. And hits that one well to center. Going back is Peterson on the run. This one is gone. First major league home run. There it is. Pat Valaika with his home crowd, his family and friends in attendance, getting his first start and his first long ball. Congratulations.
We're just trying to look down in the stands below us and see if we can find some friends or family members. I know it's not much consolation to the Rockies as a whole for losing 14-1, but for that young man, first major league home run, it's still an exciting moment for him personally.
Straight away center field.
Yeah, that's big boy territory at night. And Pat Valaika, and hopefully they can get that ball back. I think he knew it too, that he had hit it pretty well.
Here's now Tony Wolters rolling one over to first base. Gonzalez will take care of that. Second out. Just mentioned he's got pop in his bat, so he showed it there. Driving the ball straight away center field in the nighttime air. Like Jeff said, that takes a poke to get it out.
Willing to have your first major league home run here at Dodger Stadium.
Pretty cool. Two outs. Christian Adames is the hitter. 14-1 Dodgers. Adames a switch hitter, hit left-handed, and a curveball drops in strike one from Chavez. The other factor with that home run, Chavez has been very good against right-handed hitters this year. Broken bat, foul ball, roller up the first base side. Barrel of bats out there almost into right field.
As an infielder, you don't know which way to go. You see two things coming towards you. Your first responsibility is to try to field the ball. Now, this ended up being in foul territory, but you see that barrel coming to you. It starts to freak you out.
Yep, I'm sure.
Where'd that? Oh, that was off the label on the Subaru Supermo.
So Christian Adames into the dugout to get a new bat, and he's ready to roll here. No balls and 2 strikes on him. Rockies in jeopardy of losing their 6th consecutive game at Dodger Stadium. After this, no chance for a winning record. The Rockies had to finish 8-0 starting tonight to get to 500. Fouled away over to our left side. Still 0-2 on Adames. Chavez working from a windup, unlike a lot of relievers these days. Ready with the 0-2 pitch. And missed it low and outside. Otherwise, tough night for the Rockies. There's a bright spot. Pat Valaika with a home run, his first major league long ball. Swing and a miss as Adames waves at that one. Rockies are on the board with that home run by Valaika, the rookie. It's 14-1 Dodgers.
maybe the first thing I'll do Monday is take my watch off and put it in the drawer and just think I can do anything I want, which probably will be have a nice breakfast, read the papers, maybe take a walk, and get a good book and read that book. That's the first thing I'll probably do.
Yeah, put the watch away. Not on that,
Not
that
on
time
that time.
clock. Yeah. Christian Bergman stays on the mound for the Rockies, and Andrew Tolles is a pinch hitter here for Jock Peterson. Just a handful of games left for Vin Scully. 2 more home games tonight, counting tonight, then tomorrow afternoon. And Tolles looks to pitch outside. Early in the year we were here, Jack Corrigan, who we do radio with, we asked Vin, he was in our booth, and I said, what about the craziest game you've ever seen? He said, well, I don't have a crazy game as much as a crazy day. Tolles will hit that to first base. Cardullo will make the play by himself and 1 down. And Vin said, I was doing NBC Game of the Week on TV. It was a Saturday afternoon at Wrigley. And he said, I did the game on TV. It was a 10-inning game. Cubs won the game. And then he had his duties with the Dodgers on the radio. So he flew to Houston to do the Dodger game that night. It went 12 innings. So he did 22 innings in 1 day in 2 different cities.
And then I think, wasn't it the next day or something, he had a crazy day that day too, so he ended up calling a ridiculous amount of games in just 2 days.
Could have been.
Because I think I remember, didn't he also say that Houston game, he was literally walking
Yes.
in to into the booth as the national anthem was finishing up.
Correct. Exactly right. Swinging a foul back to the screen here. Micah Johnson is the pinch hitter in the pitcher spot.
There was a lot of people asking questions today for Vin, because that press conference went on for an hour, and I know Spilly, was in that, and I think Spilly asked a question of Vin during that time.
Vin, I'm a Santa Barbara guy, former major leaguer.
I know you very well, Ryan.
Spilly, he knew who you were.
Huh?
He knew you.
Yeah, he did. Well, I just wanted to ask him a question. Every basically media member asked him a question. It was basically a question and answer with your favorite person. And it was questions, what was your favorite call? And I just wanted him to get to this Red Barber story that I think I've told in the past, where his very first call of the ever that Red Barber had him do was at Fenway Park, just so I could remember it the way he told it, and it was awesome.
There's a ground ball off the bat, and Johnson, who can really run, but he's out.
Hey, Spilly, that thing went on for 52 minutes, but it could have gone on for 5 hours and 20 minutes.
He would have just sat there forever. I mean, I had all these questions I wanted to ask, and to be honest, I was extremely nervous. I mean, this is somebody you like, and we spend so much time with him, but on that type of stage today, it was pretty nerve-wracking for me to just ask a question of him.
Oh,
I know.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
I thought maybe they required you to state your hometown before you ask a question.
They did. They did.
You just wanted to get the gauchos in.
Well, it all started because somebody asked a question, just letting him know how important his call for so many major leaguers has been. I mean, it's like the Johnny Carson thumbs up to the comedian. It's a rite of passage for many kids that have played and lived in Southern California, and that's what Vin acknowledged. So when it came back to me, I was acknowledging that, hey, I'm a Southern California kid from Santa Barbara. And that's when Vin said, I know you, Ryan. But I was going with another story, falling off of another person's question.
But honestly, and I mean this in all sincerity, how cool is that, though, that he said to you personally, hey, I know you, Ryan.
I know you well, Ryan.
It's the best. Are you trying to get me to cry right here?
No, I just think it's so special that, he has that relationship and can say that. And his memory and his recall is unbelievable.
Yep. That's what Walt Weiss kept saying after his visit. It was interesting because Walt Weiss and Renee Latchman and some others, Nolan Arenado, came up to the booth on Thursday, and Walt was telling the story to the media afterward, and he said that Renee Latchman was a bat boy for the Dodgers. Well, of course, when Vin was doing games, and he said Renee wasn't necessarily excited about meeting Vin. He was excited about meeting someone older than himself.
Somebody that had been in baseball longer than he had.
Exactly right.
Going on Latchman's story, so Latchman was originally a bat boy in 1960 and 61 when the Dodgers played at the Coliseum. Dodgers didn't open at Dodger Stadium until 1962, and that's when Latchman was a bat boy. So he was a bat boy 3 years, and he said it was an incredible time.
Charlie Culberson, by the way, the former Rocky, is the hitter, and the count 3-2 on him from Bergman. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody on for the Dodgers, who lead 14-1. Culberson called up 3 different times this year, utility man for the Dodgers. Bounces that to third. Valleca spins and throws to first. High throw. It's off the glove of Cardullo. So the inning continues for the Dodgers.
Be a base hit for Charlie Culberson, and then an error on Pat with the high throw. It just trickles into the Rockies dugout or camera well. That'll actually be the 3rd error tonight. You're saying 3, where was the other one? Well, they ended up charging Stephen Cardullo a couple innings ago. They tacked on that E3, allowing Chase Utley to get to second base because he was thrown out, but since he got there with the obstruction, they also added an error to that.
Rob Segedin is the hitter now for the Dodgers. So man at second base and 2 outs. And he pops this one up behind second base. Adames, the shortstop, calling for it. And that'll be the inning. We'll head to the 9th inning. The Rockies down 14-1 to the Dodgers in this game 3. Back in a moment on Root Sports. For the Rockies, we'll get Raimel Tapia up there. David Dahl looks like he's going to get a bat as well. A new pitcher for the Dodgers as well. And Adam Liberatore will get some work tonight, Jeff.
It'll be the first time that the Rockies have seen Adam in this series. But one of 6 left-handers that they have in their bullpen, and they're Still trying to shake out who might be on that roster coming in 10 days. Got major changes, just like the Rockies had with their defense. The Dodgers, the same thing.
And there's a new defensive alignment, so you got plenty of changes. Reddick is the one guy that stays in the game. He's in right field still for the Dodgers. And San Francisco has broken that tie. Was at 6 and ahead of the San Diego Padres 7-6 in the 10th inning. Toppy with his first at bat tonight. Swings and misses at a breaking ball, and 0-2.
There's going to be some more changes in a minute to that scoreboard for San Francisco. We'll go ahead and give you the spoiler.
Give it to us.
Yeah, there was just a 2-run home run that was hit, so they are now up 9-6.
Maybe no celebration tonight yet for the Dodgers.
Denard Span just hit a home run. Kevin Quackenbush.
Strike 3 with Tapia.
2017 suite packages are now available. You can reserve your opening day suite with the purchase of a suite 10-pack. Call today for more information.
You didn't just read that. You sold that.
You know what?
Huey.
Yeah. Opening day around the corner.
Heck yeah. David Dahl with his first at bat tonight. And a ground ball right to first base. First baseman there, Seguin, who stayed in the ball game, will take care of matters, and the Rockies down their final out. And Jordan Patterson will get an at bat here at Dodger Stadium, left-handed hitter.
Well, before he hits, just want to say thanks for this evening, Jerry, filling in for Drew, coming over and sharing this broadcast booth with you tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate that, and a lot of fun working with you as always. You make it easy.
Oh, thank you. It's you know what, great teamwork.
Yeah, thank you. Not an easy game, but an easy broadcast partner. Inside to Patterson, and the count 1-1 strike on this rookie.
For these rookies, they're not looking at the score 14-1. They're looking at, this is my at bat. We saw with Pat Valaika. For Jordan Patterson, it's equally as important. You see the intensity in the eyes. He's ready to go.
And now he is down 1-2 strikes. Patterson, solid numbers at AAA. Albuquerque this year, played there all year long. They played first base and right field. Dodger crowd sell out again tonight, sensing that victory. On their feet. Pitch to Patterson, and that's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Adam Liebertor trying to finish the game off. Here's his pitch. Little looper into shallow right, and that is going to drop for a base hit for Jordan Patterson. He's not quite over yet as Patterson singles with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
And his second major league hit. You know what, Jordan? It's okay to smile.
Yes, it is. Even though you're down 14-1, you can smile. Pat Valaika did.
That's right. As I mentioned a moment ago, you're not happy with the score, but you have to remember that these guys are not much time in the big leagues. They're still trying to make a mark, make an impression. Limited duty, and then you get a hit. you know, you're happy for yourself. You're not happy with the score, as we've been saying, but for him, it's good.
Justin Garneau swings and fouls a pitch away. One at bat tonight. He struck out earlier. Talking to Dustin the other day, said the most memorable moment so far in his big league career, that game at Fenway Park, hit a home run over the Green Monster. Not out of the ballpark, but over the Monster, and the Rockies end up winning that ball game. He's down 0-2. A little blooper into center. That's going to fall for a base hit. No Dodgers celebration with a win yet tonight, as the Rockies, 2 rookies come up and bloop singles. One to right and one to center. And now we'll get to the plate. Tom Murphy is a pinch hitter.
Just a little soft serve into center field. The Subaru Super Mode. Not even a full swing. Takes the top hand off. Just lightly throws it out there.
Tom Murphy, who has 5 homers this year, 12 RBIs, the hitter. Showing some great power, and he'll take strike one. I think he can take that pitch all the way. .303 batting average with the numbers 5 homers, 12 RBIs, and limited time for Murphy. A start last night in game 2. Way upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Interesting to see what the Rockies do with the catching situation moving forward. Nick Hundley is a free agent after this season. You got Tom Murphy here, who's the top catching prospect. You got Tony Wolters as well. And line right to the shortstop Culberson, and that is the game. Game 3 taken by the Dodgers behind some great offense and Clayton Kershaw. 14-1 is our final tonight. Kershaw wins for the 12th time this year, and Chad Bettis taking the loss. He is now 13-8. Let's get to our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Let's go back for the Dodgers to the 7th inning. Josh Reddick at the plate with the bases loaded. His 4th career grand slam. Hit that one a mile into the Rockies bullpen. Dodgers already had broken the game open. That didn't hurt at all. Josh Reddick with our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Let's go back to Denver at our studio. Mark and Corey standing by.